What is going on, Wolfpack Nation? Hope everybody's doing well. And what the heck was that? I mean, I think we'll start off right there, right? I mean, in most cases, obviously it'd be a little bit of maybe a sigh and a little bit of a, well, hey, hey, we're here and looking forward to it. But I mean, dang, let's just that game was bad enough that we're just within the first 3 seconds of the intro ending gonna address it right then and there. But anyway, with that being said, though, if anybody has been with us before, you know the drill. But if you haven't been with us before, any questions, thoughts, concerns that you have on this very question-provoking situation, put them in the chat for sure, as we definitely want to hear a lot of what you have to say about this game, about state football, and everything in between. But I know Greg's going to have some thoughts on it. So, Michael, I'll ask you first, and being the one of the three of us that have tuned in virtually for this. Did it look as bad in 4K video as it did in person?
Yeah. It was pretty bad. Pretty bad.
Anything? And I mean, what's like, you're like, where now that you soaked on this for 48 hours, what's your main thought about this game?
Yeah, I mean, the two big things that stuck out on both sides of the ball was obviously on defense. He couldn't stop their running back, that bowling ball dude. Yeah. They only ended up scoring 23, but it was a lot of long drives because they were just running this guy kind of straight up the middle on us on a bunch of plays.
Yep.
And yeah, tackling was bad. Just couldn't stop him there. I don't think Drones, he made a few plays with his arm, but I wouldn't say he beat us with his arm. No. It was, them running the ball all day, pretty much.
No. I mean, yes. At the end of the day, I mean, like Virginia Tech played well for sure, but then the day, I mean, we beat us, period, point blank. Like, even if we saw Virginia Tech's best, as long as we played our game, we still should have won that game easily.
Right.
Greg, what's your initial thoughts on it right now that you want to address, even before we get into it a little bit deeper here?
Yeah, a couple of things. I won't touch on what Michael touched on. I'll go kind of a little bit different angle. Our offensive line and defensive lines were not good, just period. Gave up 5 sacks on the offense. Couldn't open up holes for Hollywood to run. That's really my takeaway there. And then defensively, we made an average team look very good. There's no reason why they should have ran for 200 and 29 yards,
29,
something like that. 14 missed tackles. Again, I said I wasn't going to touch on what Michael said, but damn, that's like the most glaring thing. And then just CJ, CJ was fine. He wasn't spectacular. I felt like he just kind of played it safe. I didn't like some of the play calling. We'll get into that, but yeah, just a game you can't lose. Yes, we only gave up 23 points, which on the surface doesn't look bad, but it's how you gave them up. Like Michael said, I was joking. I don't know if it was our chat or a different chat. I swear we must lead the country in 25-yard plus runs given up against in the country. It just feels like every week we're giving up 2 or 3 of those. And that's just kind of feels like the difference in these games.
Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah. And Greg started to talk about it, but CJ Bailey, his stat line looked fine. I think he graded out fine, but there were just a lot of bad decisions, a lot of indecisions, really. I mean,
that's the big one.
Of those 5 sacks, 2 of them he ran out of bounds for like a 2 or 3 yard loss, and it's like you just don't need to do that. Like throw the ball away,
especially when he's outside the pocket. To your point, right, Michael? Yeah. And then he takes a grounding.
That was the one time he did try to throw it away. Yeah, he was still in the pocket because he just ran straight back instead of to the side.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I think you're right, Michael. It wasn't what he did; it's what he didn't do.
Right.
I think
no turnovers.
Some of those,
for the whole team.
But again, just I don't know if some of that's just the play calling. We try to throw on first down and we take a sack, and then we try to run out of it, and then we get stuffed to the line, and basically those 2 drives are over. One was in the second quarter and one was in the third quarter, if my memory is right. But that's 2 drives, and you only get like 10 drives a game, and 2 of them you basically literally punted on.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he just hasn't looked confident since the Duke, like that second interception, the second half of Duke, and just that whole game. And it may just be as simple as that, right? He's lost some confidence and like, okay, am I really trusting what I'm seeing here?
But that's the frustrating part, though. Is at the end of the day, like honestly, like I went into this Virginia Tech game feeling very confident because I was truly believing in the leadership and the confidence, like that specifically the offense, specifically CJ would show saying, hey, listen, I did not play my best ball against Duke. Like, and now I'm going against a very depleted Virginia Tech defense with a ton of weapons, and we're going to go and light it up and score 50 on these guys. And they scored 7 in the first half. Yeah. Right out the gate, 7 points. Like, I couldn't believe it. But I said, you know what? It's okay. Like, pretty much most of the game so far, we've not played our best ball in the first half, but then second half we turn it on, baby. And so honestly, at halftime, even though I was frustrated that, we only scored 7 points, I'm sitting here saying, hey, like, we'll take it over. We'll win this game. But unfortunately, it never got better.
Win. Yeah, I figured it wouldn't be pretty. We would win. Exactly. At that point, I was going to like, you know what? I'll just take it. I don't care. Because
we almost did. I mean, we were 15, 20 yards away from kicking a game-winning field goal.
Yeah.
But
close,
yeah. And like you said, I think that's definitely ideally how you want players to respond to bad games is, okay, it's going to make me better. And sometimes it just doesn't, right? It gets in, you can get into your head and, okay, the last play was bad. I got to make the next one better. And I can't, throw another interception. And I think there might be a little bit of that going on. But
correct. Well, and so, real quick, I want to get to a couple of comments that we've got here already. Andy saying, I know people are going to rightfully rant, but I have to wonder how affected the locker room may have been by Coach DJ Elliott's loss of his daughter. And obviously, we were going to bring this up at, a later point here for sure. But I mean, since we bring it up here, I mean, obviously, prayers for the Elliott family for sure. I mean, I've heard a lot of different people say it, but couldn't imagine what what they were going through, what they were it's just an awful situation, having a a daughter pass away at such a young age. They always say, as parents, you hope one day that your kids can bury you, not the other way around. And so it sucks. No other way to say it. So prayers all around for the Elliott family for sure. And we hopefully the Elliott family feels an entire nation of Wolfpack fans behind them, because we all are for sure. So but Chilton saying, I would expect for them to play even harder for Coach Elliott. D is decimated with injury. The offense let us down in this game. And yes, I mean, obviously by now we have figured out we are a offensive driven team. And at the end of the day, if your defense holds a team to 23 points, you should win 95% of those games, period.
Yeah. With
against
with this offense.
With
we've
our
been
offense,
averaging over 30 points a game.
Yeah. Maybe not like
you should win
22 offense, but
right.
With Ben Finley at quarterback, but this offense, yes.
Yeah, a little bit different. But I mean, with that being said, it's frustrating, and we'll talk a little bit about Doeren's comments, obviously, but one of the ones that just him talking about how we're dealing with a lot of injuries on defense right now. It's not an excuse, quote unquote. It's reality. And I get that, but at the end of the day, you still missed 14 tackles. You missed 14 tackles. We're not. It doesn't take a Peyton Wilson to make a tackle. Just get the guy down, survive, and move on. But just like Greg is saying, how many 25-yard runs are we going to give up this season? And again, because it's simple. We've talked about it 100 times. Running is a mentality. Get your gap, stick to it. Make the tackle when it comes to you. That's all run defense is. And yet somehow we still cannot get the job done. And unfortunately, I'm going to get to it here. I'm just going to hit the nail around the head. A lot of it's kind of following on what we would consider our key players. I mean, just right up the middle, your Brandon Cleveland, your Caden Fordham, your Sean Brown, your Charlie Price, like those guys. And I'm not saying that all of it is their fault. It's not. But at the end of the day, if I need a play to be made, it's not wrong for me to look at you guys first and say, get the job done, because that's the situation you're in. So,
especially
Greg,
especially this game. A lot of their runs were up the middle. They weren't even getting to the edge.
Nope.
They were pretty much between the tackles.
Not the game.
Yeah. So this one,
that guy wasn't fast enough to beat us around the edge. I mean, the one really long one, he had 75, 80 yards. Harsh chased him down to tackle him. So it's not like he was just beating you with speed.
Right. Yeah. To your point, you got ran down by a defensive end. Yeah. There are typically not guys that are going to chase someone down. But so it's the interior line, it's the linebackers. I just thought we were getting beat off the blocks most of the game, and then we weren't filling gaps very well. We were just getting trucked. There's just really all there was to it. We were getting trucked, and you just can't have that, regardless of the injuries. Look, and I know we have injuries. We have injuries at linebacker, we have injuries at corner, safety. That's pretty much, some areas. And we already knew that this was a thin defense to begin with. Yeah. But again, I put that all on recruiting and development. And, I get it. Those are the guys you have. And if we had last year's dudes on defense, we probably would be in different shape. But guess what? Those guys ain't walking through the door tomorrow. You got to play with what you got. You got to coach them up. You got to let them know that they're the dudes. You're behind them. We as fans need to let them know that we're behind them. But you just got to find a way to make plays. I mean, that's a team that had a lot of guys that had quit on that team, new coaching staff. And I know Dave talked about, well, we didn't know what version of them we were to get. I don't know, make adjustments. I don't know, what else to say there. I
don't know what to tell you.
What do I do with these things?
Exactly.
I don't. By the way, anyone listening, I was doing the hand motion from Zoolander.
Talladega Nights.
Oh, Talladega Nights.
Zoolander.
Oh. No, wait. Ooh.
No, it's Talladega Nights.
Is it Talladega Nights? I know it was one of those Will Ferrell
I think.
movies. Yeah,
Will Ferrell is in Zoolander, Michael. Will Ferrell is in Zoolander. So
yeah, I thought it was
I got
when
you there.
Ben Stiller did that, but maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, regardless, you just have to find ways to win these types of games, especially
Mhm.
if you're trying to get to 8-4, 7-5.
With
Like
this
these are
schedule.
the wins that you have to bank in order to get to some of those goals that you wanted to have. And
Yep.
this is a team that lost to Old Dominion, lost to an okay
Yep.
South Carolina team. South Carolina's not as good
Got
as
donkey stomped.
yeah, donkey stomped by Old Dominion, and I got beat by an okay South Carolina team, like not as good as last year's South Carolina team, I don't think.
Yeah.
And a pretty good Vanderbilt team to this point. Like Vanderbilt's got to start playing some big boy football here really quickly, and so you'll see what they're about. But
Yep.
you have to win that game at home at night, as Chilton is saying. Like there's no excuses. The fans have shown up for 13 years, and I'm sure we'll get into this conversation here in a few minutes because I've got some thoughts that my dam is broke. So,
yep.
Yeah.
No, it's just listen. It just really comes down to that. Well, okay, we'll get to that point in a second. I was about to go that route, but we'll take a step back.
I think there's a few more things about this game we need to talk about.
Yeah, and Kenny Dean, don't worry. We'll because people have talked to us for saying you skipped my comment. I'm like, no, just more of choosing the timing of when to bring it up. So Kenny, we will bring that up here in a minute. But yeah, I mean, honestly, one of my biggest takeaways from the game is that statistically, like if you didn't watch the football game and you just looked at the stats, you would say, dang, like CJ had a pretty good game. I mean, through 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, was I'm sorry, my phone skipped out on me here, was 26 to 34 for 240 yards. Like, okay, that's a solid score there. Solid stats there for sure. But just like you said, Greg, it's kind of the stuff that isn't on the stat. Like, for example, I think that, yes, our offensive line didn't play well, but I also think that CJ was just like Michael was saying, gun shy, was holding the ball too long, and also too would step up in the pocket when he didn't have to, and so.
Yeah, I don't put all. I'm sorry. I don't put all the sacks on the offensive line in any regard. I mean, there was like Michael said, and I was saying, there was at least 3 or 4 of those plays where he had the ability to get away, get it out of his hand and clean, and just play the next down. But we put ourselves behind the chains way too many times. What were we on third downs?
Third downs? Oh, geez. Man, why does my phone keep
6 of 14? So almost
6 of
14, which isn't horrible, but
yeah,
you can be better.
But...
No,
but total yards 406 to 299. It's just
what. And kind of trying to check the checkbox here a little bit on each of the sides of the ball here before we get into the bigger questions here and talking about some commentary things as well. I just want to get to the last play of the game, the 4th down call. I mean, here's my thing. First of all, the one thing I do want to say, love Joe Lee. That dude is a rock star. He is way mature beyond his years to come out and first thing before a question even asked, say, listen, y'all, at the end of the day, I want to make it clear. I should have caught that football. Like, that play was on me. That play is not on CJ. It's not a play call. At the end of the day, it's on me. I should have made that catch. But, and I love for him to say that. But at the end of the day, that play should have never been called. That play that ball should have never gone his way. Because here's my thing. And I want to kind of lay out a couple of facts here that I thought about. And then Michael, Greg, I'll get your thoughts on it. First of all, my thought is this. If you're in that situation, here's my thing between the thought process between running or throwing the football. First of all, I would rather go down swinging with the ball in my best player's hands. If I'm going to lose, I want to lose with my best player touching the football. And so far this season, that has been Hollywood Smothers. So that's my first point there.
Yeah.
Secondly, I get the point of throwing football because it's a tight, time frame situation. But at the end of the day, if the ball hits the ground, which stops the clock, who cares? It's 4th down. So if you throw an incomplete pass, it does no benefit for you. So that piece goes out the door. Third of all, it's 1 yard. So literally from the moment that we got into the 4th down situation, I said, run the football. get Will Wilson in there. He's been money. Hand the ball off to Hollywood Smothers, like one of those two. Obviously, based on my first point, my thought is give the ball to Hollywood Smothers, go up the middle, get the first down, and then take it from there. But secondly, here's my thought too: is that there were some questions on Twitter of like, was it a read play, the out route to Jolie? If you watch that play, Tracy was staring daggers at Jolie the entire time. That ball was going to Jolie, even if he had 3 defensive players on him. That ball was going to Jolie the whole time. And I'm sitting here saying it's an out route is just such a low percentage play, just because it's so much easier for that defender, especially in press coverages like that, to get in between CJ and Jolie. So it's just like I hated the route. I get it with Jolie that, going into the season, he was your All-American guy. But at the end of the day, Hollywood Smothers has set himself as your guy. So that's my thought on it. Michael, what's your thoughts on what I said? Do you disagree with anything? Would you add anything? What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I was fine with it. Like you said, I get you live and die with your best players. I feel like Jolie is probably a pretty close second to Hollywood Smothers there. Sure. You need a yard, you're going to throw it up to your 6'5", 250-pound tight end who had an even crazier catch earlier in the game. But to the Hollywood part, like, we had trouble running the ball against Virginia Tech, against their front.
Sure.
I don't know. I don't hate that. I'm not. You're throwing it to your best guy, your biggest guy. A QB sneak, maybe you sneak it. I probably would have preferred that over a handoff to Hollywood. QB sneak it and then get right back up and spike the ball. I definitely think that would have been also could have worked, but I don't know. I can't complain about too much about throwing it to Jolie. I mean, he's got great hands. The defender just made a great play, and sometimes that's all that happens.
Greg, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm per running the ball there all day long. I just think there's too many things that have to go right in order for you to complete that pass, where there's less things that could go wrong running the ball. When you're throwing it, you need a good throw. You need the player to make the catch, and then you need to hope that the defender doesn't make a play. So there's 3 things right there, where pretty much on a run play, it's hand it off and let your guy go make a play. But I get Michael's point. We'd struggled all night against the run. But you'd ran Will Wilson in there a couple of times, and he was successful. Hell, I would have even at that point. I wouldn't have been mad. And I know it's easy for me to say this because this is after the game, to go Will Wilson trick play, throw the ball. Like, to me, that would have been the perfect opportunity to maybe pop something like that. Again,
sure,
that's a little outside thinking, but like watching the Bucks game yesterday and the Eagles running a tush push, and they didn't run the tush push out of it.
That was beautiful.
That's beautiful. Like, that's the whole point of those type of plays.
I think that's the first. I said that's the first time they've ever done that.
That's the first time they've ever done it. It was the perfect time, right? And again, that's a coach thinking outside of the box to go win the game. They'll go make a play.
Right. Yep.
If it doesn't work, it's easy as a fan to second guess all of this. Yep. It's so easy to. But I thought, man, that would have been the time to go throw Will Wilson, a little pop pass, and you might have broken it for big. Pass. I mean, like big,
right?
Big.
Right. That's a good point. I mean, you're bringing him in. All he's done is run the ball up the middle. That is,
I don't know. But again, if that fails, everyone's going to say, hey, that was too cute. Why didn't you just hand the ball to Hollywood or throw it to Jolie? Right.
Right.
But again, I just think if you're going to do a play there, I think it's run, and it's either run CJ, run Hollywood, or get Wilson in there. And then you either spike it, and then that way you can get CJ back in. But I just thought that that's a hard throw. I felt, was he on the opposite hash there? I'm just trying to remember, or was he on the near?
No, it was towards the boundary.
Yeah, and then I'm not so sure because it was kind of on the far side of where we're at, so I couldn't really see. Like, would he have fallen in bounds anyway? So, or would he?
Yeah, but it would have been a first down. So
that's my point. That's what I'm saying. The same thing would have happened if you ran the ball there too, right? It would have stopped the clock momentarily.
Exactly.
And again, it's so easy. Monday morning quarterback this, or Monday evening quarterback this in our case.
Yeah, and it's like obviously it's the last play of the game, so you're gonna nitpick it. But
yeah, right. It's gonna get the most scrutiny.
50 plays before that was the bigger issue
on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
But again, to
Michael,
your point, real quick, Leighton, but to your point, like stand up move by Justin Jolie there. He took his ownership of it. Didn't really need to, but it just shows the character and the makeup of what that guy is, and so I appreciated that as a fan, even though I didn't feel like it was necessary.
No,
and I don't think there is really. He said, "Don't blame CJ." It's like it was a good ball by CJ. The defender just
a good play, better play by the defender.
Really. Yeah.
But to the point, that's what I'm saying. Like you had to have more go right than that went to go wrong on a ball. Yeah.
Well, and to make a point to one thing you said, Michael, I get that for sure. We definitely were not running the ball well at all. Which we could definitely talk about for sure. But we were averaging for the game 1.8 yards per carry. What was the down and distance on that final play, Michael? 4th and what? 1
yard and a half.
4th and 1. So literally just get me the average. Get me what you've done so far, and we get that first down.
And that was those numbers being skewed by the sacks that Bailey took. That's the dumbest rule. The dumbest stat rule that exists in college. That
Bailey had negative 19 yards rushing.
Yeah, right. But I see your point, and I do think in the short yardage situations Will Wilson. Right, he converted a couple. Duke Scott converted one short yardage for a touchdown, his first touchdown. So it's like in the short yardage situations, we were doing a little bit better running the ball. But
no, love Duke Scott. Definitely excited about his future for sure. That dude, he runs with intensity. He's hard to bring down, and he's playing with a ton of confidence right now for sure.
Yeah.
And he's dual threat. He can catch the ball, he can run the ball, whatever you need him to do. Shows a little bit of speed, a little bit of Tony Baker style to him, so love it for sure. But yeah, so any other final points, Greg or Michael, here with the offensive side before we kind of do a final little checklist here on the defensive side?
No, just I don't know. We have too much talent to not be able to produce. You look at the wide receiver stat sheet, and it's like just 3 explosive plays really the whole night, all on the offensive side with wide receivers, tight end and 2 wide receivers. But Noah 1 catch for 16 yards. That's got to be better than that. It was great to see Dante Daniels get a touchdown, his second of his career. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That was a good play too.
That was a good play call. Wide open. I don't know. It's just frustrating. Keenan Jackson, 5 yards, and then I was going to say
great corner to a touchdown.
Yeah, Anderson, another solid game. I think you're starting to see him emerge as probably your number 1 guy at this point. Between him and Keenan Jackson
right now,
yeah. Those two have really shown out. But
I think Grimes is still up there. I think he's been banged up a little bit, but
he had a couple
good plays.
Yeah. But it's just like, where are you, Mr. Rogers?
Yeah.
Like like you're supposed to be a guy. And again, I don't know. I don't think he was even targeted that much. That's the other thing. Like he might have been targeted 2, maybe 3 times.
I think he had 1 catch on 2 targets.
Yeah, but that's just not enough. And again, I don't blame that on Noah.
The second one was actually, I think, one of the few deep throws that Bailey took.
But anyway, I'm good on the offensive side. It was offensive.
It was offensive, the lack of offense. Yeah. Defensively, the one thing which I did want to mention it's so funny how 2 different times the exact same situation came up, which I think we would all agree is like a 1% likelihood success play, and both times it gets converted, and that's where Kyron Drones went running backwards as fast as he could, throws the ball, just please somebody go get this, which were both terrible throws in the
horrible across the field,
or just cross body even,
cross
the field, but sorry, you're right. Now the one, where he did go across the field, very not great as well, but just here's my two things. One, obviously Ronnie Royal with the fact of like, don't lose your guy, man. Who cares about the interception? Get the ball down, like, and then also two, like both times the guys that were chasing, I'm like, can one of you just jump at him? Like, stop trying to contain him so much. You have 4 or 5 of you guys there. You're fine. Just somebody get his butt down, So, it was just so frustrating.
One of those look like a PI, though.
Gosh.
What's
that?
Did one of those look like a PI? Like,
oh, the Ronnie Royal one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a push off, but
probably not enough.
Yeah,
not enough then.
Yeah,
and it was just
I just saw my phone was lining up saying PI or offensive PI. So again, that was on the other side of the field. He mistimed his jump at the end of the day. Like,
well, I think he's just 5'9". I think he's just short.
That too.
I think he timed it perfectly. I think he's just short.
Just short. Got you.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah. So just
that was
like
a 6'5" tight end or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. Yep. But again, just especially that play in a like terrible timing for that play to happen.
Yeah. Right, because they end up kicking the field goal, right? The go-ahead field goal after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Correct.
So you get that stop, and well, that would have been third down, so they probably would have gone forward on fourth. So you would have had to get one more stop because they would. Right.
He's 5'9".
At that point, that was a third down play. We were up 21-20. So, yeah, you're probably forcing them to go forward on fourth. So you still have to get one more stop. But, either way.
It sucked all the wind out. It really sucked all the wind out of Card Friendly.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, again, just terrible run defense. Like, your guys have to step up. I'm looking at you, Cade Fordham. Obviously, Sean Brown. I obviously was focusing on other big things of what Doeren was saying, but did Doeren mention anything about Sean Brown's ankle injury?
Not specifically, but didn't talk about it positively either. So, I mean, he didn't put any weight on that coming off at it.
Yeah, you hope it's nothing serious. Him or Cody Barnhart. Neither of them could walk off the field, which is not good. Like, they couldn't even put any weight on it at all.
We're just this is gonna be. It might get bad. Defense is just decimated right now.
Yeah,
reminds me of it. And I feel like we talk about this every year, like just injuries at very key positions. And again, it's football. I get it, right? Not to make excuses.
Yep.
D-line. I think the D-line.
Y'all didn't even
I think
pick up on
everybody's
that.
healthy on the D-line, but.
Y'all didn't even pick up on that call back.
No.
That's fine.
No.
I said, look, every team has injuries, not to make excuses. Or did we hear that today?
Oh, yeah. No. Well, and again, okay. All right. It's time to get into it. Let's do it. Yeah, I mean, so first of all, and this is a fun one here. I wanted to bring this up because I think this will kind of maybe summarize a little bit about a lot of fans' current thoughts about, Coach Doeren and NC State football right now. And I just happened to get it while recording my first take of my post-game thoughts here. So also, I'll go ahead and put a little caveat, not necessarily family friendly what's about to be shown, but it's too good. The fact that I got this on camera. So with that being said, all right, it's time to be real here. It's time to be real. Absolutely disgusting game. Disgusting from beginning to end. The whole game.
Fire everyone! Fire fucking everyone! It's the only answer. We lost to fucking Virginia Tech at home. Playing the players, the coaches, fire them all.
Well,
it'd have been great if we could have had a beat
really
there.
Finish the video for you.
Tell me how you really feel there, guy. Like,
I know. I gave the caveat. I gave the caveat saying it wasn't 100% friendly, but it was just too good that. And
but I think he speaks for a lot of people.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, 100%. And so, all right. So, Greg, how about you start us off on this topic here? Give us the probably proper way to address this. How what is this game? What does this loss do for Doeren?
Yeah, it's we were talking about it on the Discord a little bit, right? And
Yep.
you know, other than having lost to an FCS team before, I don't know who that was, but someone mentioned that we've lost one today. I don't remember if we lost to an FCS. I don't think that's true personally, but
No.
yeah, I didn't think that was true. Thank you for clearing that up, because I was like, I don't think we've lost an FCS team. But other than that, losing to Campbell this weekend, if that were to happen,
Oh God.
we won't put that into the atmosphere.
No.
It's tough. It's 13 years, and some folks have posted some, stats online, and he's got Coach Doeren's got a below 500 conference record over 13 years. Hasn't won a bowl game since 2017. Haven't made an ACC championship game appearance, much less win one. It's tough. Best season, we won 9 games twice. The COVID year, you probably would get to 10 there, but obviously no way of ever telling that.
Yep.
It just feels like it's time. I never want to advocate. I never want to advocate for someone losing their job, especially in the middle of the season. I think everyone's working hard. I don't think it's due to lack of effort. It's just it's time to shake hands and move on. I just And I like Coach Doeren personally. I would love to see them pull out of this right now. I really would. But you look at last year, ending the season 6-7. If you look at the last 13 games, we're still 6-7. So there's no progress being moved in the right direction. And so when your team is kind of stale after 13 years, it just might be time. I don't want to say that. And again, it's not lack of effort on the coaching staff part, the players part. The players are still bought in. It's just the result. It's a results-oriented business. And right now, we're just not getting the results. And a lot of people are putting a lot of money into this program. And it's going to get to the point where you're going to start seeing basketball-type things from last season where and it's hard for – and I'm almost done here. It's really hard for folks to not want to go to football games because you have the tailgating, you have all of that aspects. But this weekend, playing an FCS team, it's going to be interesting to see what those stands look like. But again, we still have the nice thing is we still have 3 home games after this, and they're against decent opponents. You got Georgia Tech, who's a ranked team. You got Florida State, who's a ranked team. And then you have your rival UNC coming into town. So I don't think you're going to see the drop off this year. But if you don't make some moves here, you might not see some season ticket renewals for next year.
Agreed. Well, and Michael, if it's okay, just since I promised to Kenny I bring this in, I'll kind of ask this question since it goes right along with what Greg said and let you kind of piggyback. But Kenny Dean saying losing games when we have an obvious talent advantage seems to be our calling card under Coach Doeren. I believe a majority have seen enough. I'm talking about a majority of fans. When is Coach Doeren gone? So, Michael, your thoughts?
Yeah, I kind of I disagree a little bit with the first part. When he has the obvious talent advantage, that he wins those games. That's kind of the calling card. I think the issue with him is, winning games where you're evenly matched or, somebody has more talent than you. And that he pretty much never wins those games when you're out talented. It's kind of going back to what Greg said. It's like, it's tough because we're 5 games in the season. Yeah. But you look at the schedule and you see, okay, 1, 2, maybe 3, possibly 4 with an upset, 4 more wins, maybe.
Yep.
And at that point, you're looking at you kind of go back, and Doeren's never had back-to-back losing seasons, and that could happen now. And after 13 years, you have started to have back-to-back losing seasons. Yeah, that's I think it's very, very justifiable to move on at that point. That being said, the schedule also allows you to really win the fan base back, right? If you get to 8 wins now, you're going to have some some of your best wins.
Your coach
but
of the
course,
year
that's
talks,
getting
like
there. Right, right.
But
Right.
at
That's
that
getting
point,
there.
are you satisfied as a fan base? Because again, eight wins is kind of where we've been. Like,
Yeah.
Wow. I love it, Greg. You're saying this. This is awesome.
I know.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be this guy because I'm
No, I
not
don't
this
think
guy.
it's-
Exactly.
You know
You're
me,
not
like,
this guy.
No, but I think it's very when you start to see a downward trend, you have to get ahead of that. And if you have this would be Doeren's first back-to-back losing seasons if the schedule, if it plays out.
If everyone thinks that if Vegas is correct, how about we go it that way?
Sure.
Yep.
Right, but if you go on the road and beat Notre Dame somehow, and then beat Georgia Tech and Florida State at home, and get to 8 wins, and that would be probably his best year ever, even with this loss. But obviously, that's unlikely to happen. But the opportunity is still there. But
yeah, especially these injuries. Yeah, I am not saying that he should be fired tomorrow. Now,
no,
if we lose,
I don't think
we
there's
lose to Campbell. All bets are off at that point.
Yeah, if you lose to Campbell,
but that's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
I just want to see these dudes they work their asses off, man. And I don't think they're being failed by their coaches. Can we make a decision here or there in a play call? Sure. But Doeren didn't miss 15 tackles on Saturday night.
Nope. Yep. That's always something that fans, I think, forget. It's at the end of the day, it all falls on Doeren as he reminds us all the time.
Yeah,
because he is the head coach.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, it's the players have to be the ones to make the play, which is
and that's why it's hard to talk about coaches after singular games, right? Because most of the time, when it comes to actual games, most of that, obviously, coaches have the play calling stuff, but mistakes and stuff, falls on players a lot too. So it's hard to talk about in season, right? When you get to the end of the season, that's kind of where you can make an overall judgment more so, right? Because 2 years ago, 2023, we were
similar position,
4-3, right after getting blown out by Duke, and it's okay, and then you win 5 in a row to end the year 9-3. So
it's really it's so frustrating. Because I made the comment earlier, if you have those dudes that you lost on defense this year, I think this team is going to be. I have no doubt at this point, if we had the players that we had on the team last year, we're 5-0 right now. I feel confident in that because they were that good. They're dudes that are starting at the SEC and Big Ten levels, and they're in positions where we've honestly struggled this year. And I, do you? God, I dare say this. I don't want to be like Doeren. Do you dare blame the fans because we're not generating enough NIL?
Nope.
I don't think that's a fair thing to say. Folks will give what they can give.
That's right.
No, I don't think it's a blame, but there's a reality to how much, how really invested the fan base is in winning in football, like we appear to be in basketball.
Well, and here's the other thing. We're more invested because we have a new basketball coach. If Kevin Keats was still there, he wouldn't be getting that kind of money. And so you can make the same argument with football. I've seen people post they're not donating a dime until Doeren's gone. Yeah. Well, okay, I guess.
Well, exactly. You can't change that. You can try. We can sit here and say why you should get involved and the benefits you get from Savage Wolves, like we said, for sure. But at the end of the day, and again, because I said this last week, Greg, at the end of the day, unfortunately, under Coach Doeren, unless there is a mass change, which I don't see happening, you're not going to see that influx of money like you did with Will Wade, because unfortunately Dave Doeren is not the new shiny toy anymore. He's not.
Yeah, you're going to need Brian McMurray's doppelganger to chip in another $5 million or something like that.
Right. That's the other part of the conversation where
money talks, bullshit walks. How about that? I'll say.
Are we in a position? That's a good line. Are we in a position? because football takes. I know we hired Wade and brought all this money. Like, are we in it? But football takes way more money. So are we in a position a year after Wade to now go and hire a football coach with a new greater investment? Right, you can hire another coach on the cheap, probably cheaper than Doeren because he's getting paid a lot.
$5.5, right?
But the infrastructure around him, can you increase that part of it and really?
Yeah, you see the comparisons. Everyone's saying, "Well, Virginia Tech's now deciding to go all in on football," but they have more of a history in football than we do at basketball. So, like, most teams not in the SEC have to choose one or the other, and even SEC teams, for the most part, have to choose one or the other. Like, there's very few programs that can go all in on everything. There's probably 1, maybe 2%. Yeah, Ohio State, Texas, Oregon seems to have a crap ton of money. Florida seems to have a lot of money. But there's probably, you can count them on probably on one hand, maybe two. So you have to make that decision where you're gonna head. In basketball, you can do more with less, right? It only takes 6-7 dudes and about $8 million. Right. Football, to be competitive, you need to be in the $25 million range. Right. And I think we're around 13 to 15 if what you see out there is correct. So
that's outside of rev share now.
Correct.
Because everybody gets that. So it's like on top of that.
Yeah, you need like an extra 10 to $15 million outside of rev share.
And easily.
Yeah. And that doesn't even guarantee you a championship. It just gives you a seat at the table.
No. Nope.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
You still gotta win the games.
Yeah, you still have to win. But the additive is, or the additive, anyway, you know what I'm trying to say, is that you look at the Yankees every year, and again, I hate the Yankees, but they're always in the conversation because they can go out and get the best, right? But again, you see conversely, the Mets have gone out and spent a lot of money, and that doesn't,
lapse.
So, but you have to spend it wisely, right? Like we have a GM, but as far as GMs go, is there better ones? Are they doing well? Like, I don't know. I don't know enough about, like, they don't get the hype that the basketball team's been getting.
Yeah. Yep. Well, and Jaden saying we owe him 1 more year at least. I think at this point, 13 years, you don't necessarily owe him anything.
Well, you're going to owe him money. That's
you owe him money, but you don't owe him time.
No, I don't think.
No, I'm not sure that's
right. I think last year was his kind of mulligan year. That right, you had won 8 or 9 games the 4 seasons prior. Okay, you can go 6-6, and
correct.
Especially the way we did it, where 3 or 4 games we were within 1 score, and they could have gone.
Correct.
Now, the other part is it's not just about your coach, which Doeren could also make the decision for us and retire.
I don't know if I leave that money on the table.
Yeah, I don't know. I think what you're always going to be leaving money on the table, unless it's.
But here's my thing too.
Coaches don't let the contracts run out, so it's like.
I think that Dave and Boo have a strong relationship for sure. I think that's one thing that we do have going for us. Is I think that at the end of the day, that first of all, again, I think Boo will do right by Doeren. Because Doeren does deserve his flowers for sure. He's the winningest head coach in program history. He's definitely raised the floor of NC State football. There's no doubt about it. The floor has never been this high beyond just the players. Because, obviously with Amato, yes, we definitely for 4 years had a very high floor, but that's because you had Phillip Rivers,
right.
But even whether it was Ryan Finley, whether it's Devin Leary, whether it's Brandon Armstrong, whatever, like your floor was basically at 8 wins, for most general seasons. So love that for sure. But unfortunately, the problem with Doeren, in summary, is not the floor, it's the ceiling, and yes, we're not going to be the Jordan quote. That's not what we're talking about. We're saying at the end of the day, we want to know that we can compete for an ACC title. And yes, I'm sure Doeren can quote the excuses saying, well, the years before we got rid of divisions, we were the second best team in the ACC behind Clemson. Yes, I'd agree with you for that for sure. But at the end of the day, you need to get an ACC title game. You need
Right.
and we haven't even
Divisions
gotten there yet.
Yeah.
I'm going to use another analogy, and in no way am I advocating for this individual to come save us, though I wouldn't be mad at it, but there's no way that's going to happen. This reminds me of the late 90s, early 2000 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where they had Tony Dungy, who ran a great program. He elevated them from losers to playoff caliber teams and just couldn't get over the hump, right? And so for me, that's kind of like Doeren. He's 8-9 wins, just can't get over that hump. Historically, 8-9 wins. And then the Bucs brought in Tony Dungy. I'm not sorry, Tony Dungy. John Gruden, and the next year they go to the Super Bowl. Again, not saying I want John Gruden. Wouldn't be mad at John Gruden.
No,
but what I'm saying is sometimes you reach a spot, a plateau with somebody, and then you need to bring that closer in, if you will, to kind of just get you over the hump. And I just kind of feel that that's where this program is at. It's a solid program. I think if we were to make a coaching change, I think it would be an attractive job. I don't think you would have problems finding someone. I think you would have your pick. But again, we're not there yet. This team can still turn it around. It's a big hill to climb, but I know that I will be at Carter Finley for the 47th game in a row on Saturday, and I will continue to be there no matter who the coach is. I would love for it to continue to be Doeren, but I just don't know if those cards are on the table. Like, I just don't know anymore. And we have to be smart with this and make sure that we're setting ourselves up for success in the future.
Yeah. I think the other thing about, like I said, obviously Doeren could choose to retire, and then that's that, and we have no choice but to go hire a new coach. But if the decision is up to Boo, something he's got to, figure out is the whole coaching cycle this season is crazy. It's already going to be crazy. You've got UCLA, Virginia Tech, Arkansas, probably Florida. Like, you're already at the bottom of that list as far as desirable jobs go. And there's going to be a lot more that come open. And, there's only so many
quality
good coaches out there that are going to be able to, that you're going to be able to entice to come versus some of these other programs.
And let's keep it real. Like, what's going to happen in the next 3 to 4 years, 5 years, with conference realignments? And does a coach want to get involved in an ACC school like NC State or a Virginia Tech, knowing that that landscape of that conference is probably going to look vastly different, right? So is it going to be dissolved? Is it going to bump up in status? Are they kind of just going to get scraps left off the table and from smaller conferences? Because, like, you saw what happened with the Pac-12, and the ACC something similar could kind of happen with them. I don't think to the level of what the Pac-12 had done to them, but you're definitely looking at potentially some AAC type teams backfilling probably at least 2 to 4 teams probably in 2030, 2029, 2030.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, and I'm going to get to a couple.
Forgot to mention them. They're open. Gundy got fired already.
Which one?
That's right.
Oklahoma State.
Oh, yeah. He's a man.
So
unemployed, but he's a man.
Yes, he is. Yeah. He's 40. Yeah. Not anymore, but he was 40.
And unemployed. That should look good on a Tinder profile.
Yeah. Kent Pierce mentioned this team will be lucky to win 5 games this season. I mean, again, and
I
we
think
talked about
5. I think we'll win more than 5.
Well, yeah, because we're good now. We're good enough to, and that's the thing is like we're still talented enough, to win games. But
you're never as good as your best game, never as bad as your worst game. Hopefully, that was our worst game of the season.
True story.
Hopefully. Another thing as well, Andy's saying, remember the days when we were tied with Georgia for the longest home winning streak in the nation? We have definitely fallen off. And that's another thing as well that's frustrating with Doeren is I'm sitting here saying, recruiting wise, it's not really been your thing for the last few years. It just hasn't been the same. Home streak wise, we definitely fallen off. Haven't really defended the home turf as well as we did. So that's my thing is I'm sitting here with Doeren is I'm saying, unless you keep CJ, unless you keep Hollywood, which I'm hoping if Doeren stays for next season, you can keep one of those.
Yeah.
It's just like, what's the thing that's going to keep fans excited for rest of the season and heading into next season? Because one of the things beyond just season ticket sales, Greg and Michael, which I think is a big reason why Virginia Tech, for example, went ahead and made their move with Brent Pry, is the revenue that you're still losing by fans not being there. Yes, you still at the end of the day have the money for the tickets they bought, but that doesn't mean they have to show up. And you're losing the revenue for the food they buy, for the parking, that is paid, for general admission.
Alcohol sales is
here.
a big thing now.
Holy crap, alcohol sales. Yes, exactly. So I think that's kind of one of the things for sure. And I think that's unfortunately something that we'll experience a little bit of here this Saturday, where there's going to be some fans for sure that are not going to be happy. There's
going to be a lot of red, and I feel it's going to be empty seats.
There is, man. And again, it's not like there's a lot of Campbell fans, but like, don't worry, I'll buy those tickets from you. Probably not. There's probably not a lot of Campbell fans looking to buy. But hey,
get out there and support those guys. I mean, like,
that's right. No, we're not advocating saying don't worry, we're okay if you don't go. No,
go until there's a reason not to go, and that means the end of the season. Right. Feel how you want to feel about coaches, and pull up Michelle's comment here because she's 100% right here. And Doeren, I feel like Doeren was kind of alluding to that in his comment today about loyalty, and I feel like that's kind of where Michelle's going with her comment. I could be wrong, but it's easy to get behind a team when they're winning, right? That's called a bandwagon fan. Like, that's easy. That's super easy when they're called Carolina basketball fans. Like, that's what they are. But damn, like, get out there and support your team. It says NC State on the front. Aren't you an NC State fan? Get out there and go. Don't do it for the coaches. If you've got grudges against the coaches, fine. Let it be. But these athletes are going out there busting their humps for us, and so let's show them a little love.
Yeah. Yep. And I mentioned earlier, like, there's some good. It's a good schedule left. Like, there's some good home games left. If there's a possibility you pull an upset or two, things are looking good. I
mean, look at who had Florida State losing on Friday night to Virginia, who we beat again. Not saying I know I feel you, Leighton. I didn't think Florida State was that good either, but I'm just stick with me here on the point.
Yes, still, yes.
But we talked about it last week a little bit. College football is weird. Like, you see teams that beat teams who beat teams who lose to teams because they beat this team. You're like, what?
Great. Wake should have beat Georgia Tech on Saturday.
Should have.
Crazy ass offsides call that
again. 2 weeks in a row.
That made me mad.
Look at all the
actually. It made me feel better that they missed that one too. Sorry, Wake.
That one was more. No, you're fine. That one was more blatant than ours.
I agree.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah, it was blatant. But again, if you just look at, Tariq Hill just got knocked out. I have a chance. I don't think I do, but sorry, I got an alert on my phone or on my iPad here. But college football was weird this weekend. There was a number of upsets, ranked teams going down. So get out there, support these guys, man. Like, one thing we didn't talk about. I wanted your guys' thought. I know you weren't there, Michael, to see it in person, and it was. I'm still having PTSD from it. The swim team being announced as the team of the game on Saturday night. Did you see this at all, Michael? Did you see any of the photos?
What happened?
So the team of the game was the men's swimming and diving team. They all came running out in their Speedos in the end zone. It was I still, like, I'm rubbing alcohol in my eyes trying to unsee it.
Hey,
but
their uniform.
It was fun. It was funny. Like,
they
got the crowd hyped. Like, they did their job.
Yep, that's funny.
It might have been the highlight of the game, to be honest with you. For the ladies, not for me. But yeah. Anyway, all right, let's move on to some other sports.
Well, but real quick though, Greg, I do want to ask you one thing though. So from I want to read the quote here from Doeren here on the loyalty thing. It says, it's one thing to say you want to win when we're winning, and when we lose to say that you want us to leave. That's not loyalty. We're going to be loyal to the people that are loyal to us, and that's these players, that's these coaches We're going to fight together. We're going to fight hard. That's the message. These kids are going to do the same. They understand what it is. And that's college sports. It's pro sports too. In week 1, Alabama loses, and everybody thought they were the worst team in college football. Now they've gone on to run. Everybody's got them in the top 10. I think that it's a what have you done for me lately business. I understand we've lost 2 in a row, and that's how we're looked at. We've got to get back to doing things better.
Yeah, but
So,
see,
yep.
no, I was going to say, but we broke it down like last year too, right? Like it's not just the fact that you've lost 2 games. It's you went 6-7 last year, and still taking that into consideration, the last 13 games, you're still 6-7. Now, I will say I'm 10 games above 500 in this streak to 50. So the last 50, we're 10 games above 500. So keep that in mind as well. Again, I want to give the good and the bad because that's what I prefer to do. But like, we're not just talking off the last 2 games. Like, if you're rational, like, no, there's some irrational fans out there, and believe me, I see them on X more than I probably need to. But for the most part, rational fans, like, it's been 13 years. Okay. Right. I don't think, like, our guy Richard's in the chat here, and he's like, yeah, I'm starting to feel like a Cubs fan, like back in the day, or a Red Sox fan. Like, we just want to compete. And I don't know if we have the things in place right now for us to do that. Like, I just, I don't.
Yeah. And
but also too, because I don't want. I just want to make one thing, because my issue is that to even talk about NC State fans not being loyal. I get it. I want to preface, because first of all, and Greg, you might be even thinking the same thing I am.
Probably.
Listen, you do not choose to be an NC State fan. You are born into it. Like you are just chosen by God Almighty. Say you're an NC State fan now. You are locked in for life. You're good and the bad, and that's the way it's going to be. Now, but I also want to preface Doeren saying we are extremely loyal to NC State. Yes, correct. We are not extremely loyal to you. Yes, because at the end of the day, like my loyalty to NC State is bigger than one coach, and that goes for any coach. That goes for Doeren. That goes for Will Wade. That goes for anybody. At the end of the day, I'm going to choose NC State over you. So if I have to do so for the sake of NC State, if I have to look past you and say we need to go a different direction, then so be it. So I hate it even making it seem like NC State fans are not loyal, because there's not many fan bases in the country that are more loyal than NC State fans, period. Well, Michael, go ahead.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to get at. Like, I don't think that was specifically directed at the fans. Like, if you kind of read what he was saying before that, right, he says, so my advice to anybody, not just our players, is be in a circle of friends that promotes your growth. You don't listen to things that people tell you that you don't ask advice from. And then he said the quote you said about loyalty. So and like, he started in his opening statement. I mean, he was very appreciative of the fans too. Like, what did he say? In his opening statement, he said, I thought the atmosphere of the game, fans, you guys were incredible. We love your passion and appreciate you making Carter Finley so special. And I totally understand when you come to a game, you want to see us win, and we want to give that to you, and we didn't deliver. But that doesn't take away from how special you made that environment. We appreciate it. So I think that quote about loyalty has been taken a little bit out of context.
I think there's some truth to that.
Meaning that he was directing it towards the fans, which I don't think he was.
Yeah,
correct.
Again, we've sold out, or damn near sold out,
23 straight home games.
Years. Yeah.
23 straight home
It'll
games.
be 27 by the end of the year.
Yeah. 27, and you get 7 a year. So public math is hard, but that's over 4 years of sellouts. And the 4 years, like, we've had a pretty good record. The last 2 have been a little spotty. But we show up, like, and we're still very loyal to this team. I think the loyalty for some folks is not with the team and the players. It's the coaches.
Yep.
And again, they're the ones making the big money. And so again, it's, I've said it tonight. I've said it before. it's a results oriented business. It's if you win, they're going to love you. If you lose, they're going to want you to get out of town. And to this point, you know, I think state fans have been very patient. It's been since 1979 that we've made an ACC game championship appearance, or at least one. It was 79. I think that was our last appearance too, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right.
That's almost 50 years. It's 45 years at this point. 45 years. So I think people have been patient. I think they've been loyal. It's 44 years. We're doing the math.
But still, point taken for sure.
Yeah. But y'all weren't born. How about that?
No, we weren't. We weren't even thought in our parents' eyes, Michael nor I. So
right. You weren't even one special night in the
Yep. So with that being said, again, just, you know, hey, on to the next. It's gonna be all right, buckle your seatbelt and let's see what happens against Campbell. But I mean, you know,
if we don't beat Campbell by at least 30 points, like it's
hey, ESPN has
on the field.
You better cover. I think that's more like you better cover whatever the spread is.
Yeah.
Like, because again, go ahead, Leighton. Go ahead. I've been talking.
Well, just say ESPN right now has this as a 98.9% chance to win.
It's actually
99.
It dropped.
It's not 99.
It dropped.
Go ahead, Greg.
No, I was just I kind of lost my train of thought, but I think you know it can't be one of those games where it's 3 quarters and the game's not out of reach. It's in doubt. Yes. Like you better go into the fourth quarter on cruise control. It better not be a Western Carolina type game.
Yeah. Correct. No. Oh God, no.
God, no. I know they're both FCS, but there's a big
but you get what I'm like. It's the same level. I think they're in the
ECU beat Campbell, I think 58-6 this year. So that's what we're dealing with.
So there's your bar.
Old Dominion beat Virginia Tech by how much,
19.
Michael? Yeah. So anyway, all right, let's jump on over some other sports here. So first of all, got to give a shout out to I think a lot of NC State fans maybe favorite Pac pros here, and that's the man, the myth, the legend himself, Trey Turner, and Trey Turner getting the batting.
Yeah, that's what I thought he was going to.
Well, that one too. He'll come up here in 1 second, but got to give a shout out to Trey Turner. I mean, winning the batting title for the National League, a 304 batting average, which is in the MLB is insane over a whole season to have above 300 batting average. So, I mean, 304 batting average, 179 hits, 94 runs scored, 69 RBIs, and 15 home runs. I mean, you know, Greg, if we were talking about like, you know, the all-time most successful Pac pros, Trey Turner's got me out of the conversation. Obviously, one World Series title might hold back a little bit on that, but I mean, still though.
Would you say one? You said what did you say?
He's only won one. It was World Series title, right?
No, he's won two, right?
Oh, really?
Did he win one with the Dodgers, or did they not win that year?
I don't think he did, but I could be wrong.
Maybe not. I could be wrong too.
Yeah,
I definitely know he won at 19.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, Trey Turner, Greg.
Yeah, no. He's probably one of the best Pac pros out there. There's a couple of old school names that people may not know, but
sure.
Yeah, 2019 only World
only
Series
19
was 2019.
Okay. Yeah, I know he played in like the one with the Dodgers, but I guess he didn't win that one. Yeah, he's awesome. You know, in fact, he only had 15 home runs this year, which was kind of a low number for him. In fact, I don't think he hit a home run in Philly until like July. I want to say it was like late in the season, or he went like a long streak without a home run at home. But yeah, he just plays a tough position at shortstop, gets lots of reps. I don't know if you saw, there was a picture from the other day. They were having a concert at the Phillies ballpark, and he was taking batting practice like before the concert, just because
I did,
staying in his routine. So he works really hard. Got a beautiful family, does a lot of great community service. So just someone that you want representing your program. He's, doing things with the Cancer Foundation, with Children's Cancer. Has made a donation back to Pac-9 to improve facilities. he's who you want representing your school. So yeah, love seeing it. And he's a Phillies guy, and it's hard for me to say that because I detest Philadelphia sports. But he did win his World Series with the Nats up here, and I thought, okay, I can still support him. He's like the only dude that I could probably ever support playing for a Philly team.
Absolutely. Yeah, and also got to give a shout out to Mr. Brian Rosenthal in the chat as well. What's going on, Brian? Former NC State men's tennis player, definitely has hyped up tennis a lot to us, and rightfully so, because both men and women deserve all the flowers. So, Brian, we'll definitely have you on the show here soon to talk about how much of a juggernaut both men's and women's tennis has become in terms of college tennis here. But yep, you know what? We'll move on over here to the second favorite Pac Pro here. Yeah, exactly. But Peyton Wilson himself, I'm getting up here right now. But I mean, I think that definitely Peyton Wilson has solidified himself as definitely one of the best young linebackers in the NFL right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, through a season, not even a half so far, what he's been able to accomplish against the Vikings alone, he had 12 total tackles, which was a career high, 8 solo tackles, which is tied for a career high, and 2 tackles for loss. So I mean, he's definitely established himself as one of the key pieces for the Steelers defense, which even though they're not so great this year, has been consistently one of the best.
We're talking about the defense as a whole.
Yeah, they haven't been. They're definitely. I mean, they're towards the middle of the NFL right now in terms of production. They're not.
Okay,
they're not.
Okay. I thought you were talking about the team itself because I said they're 3-1.
No. I'm talking about the defense. Defense hasn't been what it usually is. But yeah.
Gotcha.
So anyway, though. But yeah, I mean, like Peyton Wilson. I mean, even that flow, going out of the helmet now as well. Like it's exciting to see it, and I think that we said it at the time, Greg. But Steelers, when they got him, I believe in what was it, 3rd round?
I think it was 3rd.
Maybe even later than that. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was 3rd, middle to late 3rd.
Yeah, we said, as long as he stays healthy, it is a steal. Maybe one of the biggest steals that we've seen in recent draft history. And I think so far he's shown exactly that.
Yeah, as he gets more reps, he's getting more playing time. He kind of started to make his mark about halfway, 3/4 of the way through last season. He started kind of getting more playing time, and then you saw all the rave reviews during preseason and training camp, and then he's just skyrocketed from there. And then you saw a play that we've very familiar with, running down.
Classic chase down.
Yeah, I wish I would have loved to seen the Amazon stat cat. There you go. Is that what it was from yesterday? 23 miles.
Yeah, 23 miles per hour. Yeah,
that's insane.
That's insane.
Yeah, he just does those things, and he's wowing the NFL. Yet it's just like, yeah, we've seen that before. Like that's nothing. So
nope. Yeah, not a thing.
While you're giving shouts out, you should give shouts out to his buddy Drake Thomas. Had his first start last Thursday night, got his first sack, and matched a career high with 5 tackles. So he's starting to kind of break into the lineup. I was doing a X search on Drake Thomas, and a lot of Seahawk fans were, their tweets, and they were like, dude should be starting. I saw that probably from 15, 20 different accounts. So it's like, like he should be taking over. So that's really good to see. And really Drake's biggest downfall was just his size. He was just, kind of an undersized guy, not your prototypical size linebacker.
Right.
That or he probably would have gotten, drafted. Because I'm pretty sure he went undrafted, if memory serves me correctly.
Correct.
But just good just seeing someone taking advantage of the opportunity that they're given.
Yep. Michelle's saying right now we need more defensive players like Drake Thomas and Peyton Wilson. Absolutely we do. Holy smokes. And Chilton saying Steelers D is getting there. Go Steelers. But yeah. So Michael, any other comments here about Peyton Wilson?
No, I mean it's just classic stuff we're seeing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Third round pick, 98th overall. Just to confirm that for you.
There we go. Perfect. Appreciate that.
Yep.
Now, one other big piece of news as well that happened on on, I believe it was Sunday, on so yesterday, is NC State softball got a humongous commitment. And again, this is one of those, I'm telling y'all, like it obviously with Tuffy Talk here. First of all, I say one of the things that we have loved doing ever since we began more than 4 or 5 years ago is obviously bringing the light of the other NC State sport, bringing the other NC State sports to the light of the fan. And one of the things I have planted my flag in for sure is saying Coach Lindsay Leftwich will bring us to success. She will bring us ACC titles. She will bring us to the Women's College World Series. It's going to happen. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And what we have seen, yes, not necessarily on the softball diamond, but what we have seen in recruiting is a buy-in from the best players in the country in that vision. And it's not just like because you see a lot of times, Greg and Michael, you'll see like with new coaches that like that next recruiting class, just with the excitement of the new coach and stuff like that they'll have that one class that's just stacked. I mean, even coach the previous coaching staff, they had that as well. But you're seeing this now, not only in 2026 that you've seen multiple top 100 softball commits. You're seeing that 2027 now, and that the most recent additions that was here on Sunday with Peyton Dye, one of the top 5 infielders in the country in the class 2027, the number 13 overall recruit in the class 2027, committing and running with the pack. And she joins a couple other commits already, a couple more probably to come as well. And again, it's just so really it's just letting this string of talent get into Raleigh and let Coach Leftwich work with them. And I'm telling you, within the next 2-3 years, we will be competing for ACC championship. And because I guess one of the biggest things I've said is like I've loved honestly the fact, and I've told this to Coach Leftwich, saying it's got to be so easy for her to say, look at what NC State did for even just for this year for men's soccer. Like men's soccer, you get to number 1 in the country. You go, you are hot as all get out. And NC State fans rallied, selling out the home game versus Carolina, standing on the outside of the fence just to watch the game, standing up in the parking deck just to watch the game. Like you're telling me that if you have an NC State softball program that's ranked in the top 25 as a Florida State or Carolina coming to town, whatever it may be, that NC State fans aren't going to show up? Of course they are. Absolutely.
Yeah. On campus.
You're not talking about a 5,000 seat stadium. You're talking about maybe a couple hundred seats, Dale softball stadium, and so it's just,
they've had some recent success with sellouts. They've had
exactly.
some of the. I think they've had at least 1 or 2 each of her first couple of seasons.
Yep.
Yeah. So she, like you've been saying, it's just she's been kind of building to these 2 classes, putting in the recruiting time, really establishing those relationships. Because you've got the transfer portal and stuff, but it's a little bit different in softball and these non-revenue sports than football and basketball. So I think that high school recruiting and establishing those long-term relationships is really going to pay off in a couple of years.
Yeah, and really we've seen, other than basketball this year, I think basketball's, but I really think you're going to start to see the portal look a lot different now that NIL is going to be starting to get kind of reined in. Really you should be using that portal to plug in needs, quick fix type things, and not building a complete roster, even though we kind of had to do that in basketball. But again, we've talked about basketball. It's a lot easier when you only have to fill out, 10 spots usually. Softball, I don't know what they carry for a roster size in softball. But it's a lot harder. And even with baseball, we're seeing about a 50% turnover rate between portal additions and high school recruiting. I would imagine probably softball somewhere around that number. And then I think football, we had 40 new faces, if I remember correctly, for football this year, which seems like a lot, but it's really not when your roster is 105. So just kind of under 40 or under 50%.
Yeah. So again, y'all, just super excited about what Coach Leftwich is doing, and obviously with the program like NC State softball, that it's not like it has a lot of history necessarily where you're holding them accountable to like a standard. Like right now, we're just looking for somebody to really set a standard, and I truly do believe with Coach Leftwich, with her experience, being a part of a winning program like LSU, and the energy she brings and the success we've seen so far with recruiting, that we will start to see results here. Definitely some this year, but definitely even more 2 years from now, and definitely even more than that 3 years from now. So,
yeah, you've seen her get some good wins. You just got to kind of stack those.
Correct.
You know,
Get
and
to
the
the
ACC
NCAA
is a
tournament.
very tough conference. I mean, it's a really
Very.
good conference for softball, especially with the additions that they've made in the other teams from the other leagues that we brought on.
Correct. So, last thing here as well, and this is kind of more on a personal note here, but I actually put out a tweet about this late last week. But one of and this is a statement, again, rivalry aside, and it's definitely been a pretty tough week when it comes to Coach Elliott and what him and his family have dealt with, obviously with the loss of their daughter. But this one kind of hits a little bit actually towards the other side of the tracks home at Carolina, where their football team chaplain, Mitch Mason, has been dealing with very, very tough critical illness that he has been fighting for a couple years now, and has just kind of slowly but surely kind of moved downhill. We've been they've been praying for a cure. We've been praying for a cure. But he just, kept on fighting, and he's been such a huge inspiration to so many players, to so many people, even myself as well. I mean, just seeing the fight that he has shown. So definitely right now, I want to say once again to everybody, please join us for sure. Set the rivalry aside in this situation. Join us in praying for Pastor Mitch Mason and his family. Just keep him in your thoughts and prayers for the next little while. But yep, other than that though, love, obviously Andy even bringing up talking some how is NC State gymnastics and wrestling looking. We'll definitely have some wrestling talks here once we get a little bit closer to the start of the season here. And see, look, even Tar Pit podcast tuning in. Appreciate you guys mentioning this. Hey, Tar Pit, we may not agree on most things. We may not agree on 70% of things, 80% of things, but at the end of the day, for sure. And I mean, and that's the thing, honestly, I love is the good side of the sports, Greg, right? Where, I mean, we've seen definitely a lot of outpouring towards Pastor Mitch Mason.
Yeah,
we've
for
also
sure.
seen a lot of Carolina fans like Great Day Tar Heel, Tar Pit podcast that have shown a lot of love towards us with Coach Elliott and himself as well. So it's good to see that.
At the end of the day, we're all human, man. Like we all need each other to get through this crazy thing called life. And
Amen.
We can talk smack in the stadium in the stands, but people forget that these folks are human once they take off their coaching shirt, chaplain shirt, jersey, whatever it is that they wear to support their team. They're just people, man, and they have families, and it's just life's too short.
It really is. Amen to that. So with that being said, though, Michael, before we head on out here, man, any final thoughts here? Words of encouragement here for NC State fans?
I don't know. It's tough right now. You just beat Campbell, please.
Campbell.
Just please beat Campbell. Don't beat them. Crush them, please.
Yeah.
So,
crush your soul.
Greg, final comments here, bud.
I can't get out of a podcast without talking Pac-9 baseball. So
baseball, baby.
Thought you were gonna get through it. So I don't know if people saw, but fall ball is going to be playing a game up here in my neck of the woods at the Fredericksburg Nationals Stadium against Wake Forest. And of course, they would schedule the day we play Notre Dame at Notre Dame, so I will not be there. Like, you suckers. But that'll be fun. So anyone that can kind of make it up here, October in Northern Virginia is always pretty with the leaves changing. So come up and try to support those guys. And of course, we have the DPAP game against the Tar Heels. I think it's the 16th, of October. My memory serves me. It's a Thursday. And then lastly, they announced the Puerto Rico Challenge opponents. If you didn't see that, we'll be playing 3 games down there in Puerto Rico, starting off with Washington on Friday, playing Seton Hall on Sunday, and in between that, we'll be playing Indiana State. So some couple of good programs there to get some early season work in and see kind of where we stack up against other teams from other conferences. So excited about
Love
that.
it. Yep. And even too, Carlos Rodon pitching prime time game 2 against the Red Sox. So definitely big New York Yankees fan that day. Right, Greg?
No. I'm a Rodon fan. I'll be rooting for Rodon. Hope he has a good game, but
you hope the Yankees lose 1-0, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I get it. Yeah. So with that being said, Wolfpack Nation, if you haven't already, if you really enjoyed this podcast, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're watching us on YouTube, and hit that like button as well. It greatly helps the channel. And, and just again, really appreciate all the amazing support that we've gotten for sure. Always love talking state sports with y'all every Monday night. And then also too, if you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to us, do us a big favor as well. Leave a 5-star review. Greatly appreciate that as well. Make sure to give us a follow. Tuffy Talk down on Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok. Even Michelle right here at the end even gave love to volleyball as well, saying volleyball home games this weekend to hopefully rebound from 2 away losses this past weekend. And again, let's go support and stays volleyball as well. But with that being said, Wolfpack Nation, let's go beat Campbell. Let's take care of business. We appreciate y'all. Y'all are the best fans in the country. We'll see y'all soon, and go Pack, y'all.
Go Pack.